Welcome to Assignment 4, Resistance and Communication, as it relates to the proposed change to Google's Performance Evaluation Review. Although change management decisions are normally made at the C-level, it is very important to have the rest of the employees brought into the change. Having employees who are opposed to what is going on to be changing from the start is a major setback and one that needs to be dealt with carefully in order to be successful with change management. The potential causes of resistance at Google will be poor communication and engagement, the unknown, and timing. Poor communication and engagement will cause resistance if the process of what needs to be changed, how it needs to be changed, and what success would look like cannot be communicated. Then resistance should be expected. Employees need to understand why there's a need for change. Because if they are just thrown to the notion that what they have been used to for so long is going to be completely renovated with, that can come with much backlash. The unknown is created if the companies are consistently experiencing times where the future is unknown. There's also a good possibility that employees won't respond to change well. When the thought of change is brought up in this case, it could come as a surprise, leading to employees being caught off guard, which makes the situation even worse. Timing is one of the biggest problems when it comes to change. A lot of the time, it is not the act itself that creates the resistance, but how and when it is delivered. 3 potential sources that can be part of the resistance to change at Google is the HR manager, the department directors, and the supervisors. There are 5 steps that are going to be taken in order to minimize the possibility of resistance to Google's performance review change process. First step is we're going to be timely. We're going to announce independent change as quickly as possible. That stops any rumors from being created, as we know they can start quickly. Delivering bad news is one of the biggest challenges many managers face. Second step, we're going to discuss the need for change. Find lots of ways to demonstrate why this change to the performance review is necessary. We're going to change management. Change management requires a compelling change story, communicating to his employees and following up with ongoing communication and involvement. Step 3, we're going to watch for the staff's reaction. We're going to look for signals that sometimes says maybe we should change a thing or two. Rather than trying to force the change, find out what the staff does not like about it. Let's work with their concerns and even rethink the process to propose change. Change comes a new way of doing things, and most people are fearful of the unfamiliar. We're going to provide assurance that there will be support and time to become familiar with the new change. It might take a while for people to adjust. Step 4, involvement. We're going to involve the necessary interested parties in the planning of the change by asking them for their suggestions and incorporating their ideas. If people are involved in change and understand the reason for it, they become more supportive of the whole idea and the change process. Communication. Cannot stress how important communication is when it comes to implementing a change for Google or any business in general. We need lots of it. Change is unsettling because it brings with an element of uncertainty, like I stated before. And it is the uncertainty which is a major cause of resistance to change. People can relate to facts, good or bad, but uncertainty and contradicting messages breed unease and resistance. The relationship between change communication. Communication is one of the toughest issues in organizations, not just at Google. There are 2 main ways we can maintain a relationship between change and communication. First thing is to communicate consistently, frequently, and through multiple channels, include speaking, writing, video, training, focus groups, bulletin boards, intranets, and more about the change. The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to communicate all that is known about the changes as quickly as the information is available. That creates transparency between us and the employees. Make clear that our biases is towards instant communication, and some of the details may change later. We're going to tell people that your other choice is to hold all communication till you are positive about the decisions and goals and progress. Lastly, our communication strategies. According to an article written on businesstown.com, there are 3 main communication strategies: communicating with employees, the executive team, and with customers. Communication with employees is important because we're going to encourage, support, and embrace communication with the employees because they have the greatest insight as to what is and is not working as far as this change in performance evaluation review. Communication with the executive team is also important as it's critical to ensure that they articulate and communicate the company's message and values to the employees. We have to keep the line open when it comes down to changing a process. It is with the executive team that I'm going to develop the communication strategies and policy statements. When you clearly communicate your vision to the executive team and when you understand and expose your message, the recommended communication strategy is with that team. That team is going to also be with the department heads, supervisors, HRs. Everyone needs to be involved, and there needs to be clear transparency and communication across the board in order for this change to be effective at Google.